everyone! So today I'd like to talk about my journey from Phone Addict to Bibliophile. So like many of you watching, maybe, I'm also a Gen Zer. I am an iPad baby with my phone. I spend about minimum 4 to 8 hours a day on my phone. Sometimes that's more than I sleep, in all honesty. So first I want to talk about my phone addiction. It's pretty bad. I'd say, as I said before, 5 to 8 hours a day. But it's also weird because sometimes I feel like I'm not really on my phone 5 to 8 hours a day, because I'm a person where like I'll be doing something and I just want background noise, so I'll like leave a music video. Who watches music videos? I'm sorry. I'll leave a YouTube video up just to like hear someone in the background. I'll just like leave a TikTok on for like 5 minutes of the same sound, and just sit there. But yes, going back to COVID during quarantine, everyone was making sourdoughs, losing weight, doing Chloe Ting, and where was I? I was on this bed with, was Baby Yoda? Baby Yoda was not there during COVID. I was here with Patricia in my bed, just sitting on my phone all day, and I had no problems. I was not improving or anything, but I was like, this is my cocoon, this is my safe space, I don't need to leave it. But then I did my first year of college. After fall semester, I was in this bed and I was on my phone that I'm filming with. I was like, this isn't right. Something needs to change. I think at this time too, it was January 2021, right? Yes, not 2022 or 2020. And Book Talk was really taking over my TikTok explore page, as I'm sure it is for many of you right now, or even back then. Book Talk is this huge platform right now, inspiring so many young people to read books, which I think is amazing. And it's also taking over bookstores. Like Barnes & Noble has like a whole Book Talk table, which I think is crazy. I honestly think Book Talk is like saving Barnes & Nobles and like all in-person bookstores right now, which is great because we don't need another border situation, you guys. For anyone looking to transition from Phone Addict to Bibliophile, like me, here are some tips and tricks that I think will help you. Okay, so number one, start off with a book that you know you will like, okay? I know this sounds really simple and easy, but for a lot of people, you might think, oh, okay, if I'm gonna start reading, I need to be reading classics. I need to be reading the biggest book in the world. I need to be looking like I'm the smartest person ever. So the person next to me on the train is gonna think I'm such an intellectual hottie because I'm reading Tolstoy. I don't freaking know. No, that's like the opposite of what you need to be doing. If you are trying to lean yourself into reading, even start with like a middle grade book, like Percy Jackson, which I'll be talking about later. It's such an easy way to get yourself into reading. Second tip, read in the evenings before you go to sleep, you guys. It's such a simple change from going on your phone and like watching TikTok so you fall asleep. Don't do that. Read for like 20-30 minutes a night and maybe you'll be invested. Maybe you'll want to read even more. But it's a great starting point to leaning reading into your daytime. Third tip, if you don't have time to read in the nighttime, maybe you work night shifts and or prefer to be on your phone at night, 20 pages a day is a great starting point to lead you down the line of maybe reading 50 pages a night. I don't know, be ambitious, you can get you far. So for our fourth tip, obviously audiobooks. This is not sponsored by Audible. Sadly, I don't even have a big enough platform for Audible. Anyway, this is not sponsored by Audible. But Audible, other places you find audiobooks. I know Spotify made David Dobrik read a book. I don't know how we feel about that. but you can listen to David Dobrik read classics. I think they have a bunch of influencers and celebrities that read classics on Spotify, so you can even check that out. And the amazing app Libby, which is amazing for e-reading and audiobooks. You just need to connect your library card, or if you're at a college, sometimes your college offers and connects their library to Libby, so definitely check that out. It's completely free and amazing. I found some of my favorite books through Libby, and it also saves you a bunch of money, because I know it's fun to like be like, oh my god, look at all my books and stuff, and like save some money, go on Libby. It's amazing. And also, if you're looking to save money on books, Thrift Books is a great place to buy books. This book is from Thrift Books. Look at it, it's perfect, nothing's wrong with it. I mean, I did that, and I put stains on it. That was not there when they came. Okay, if you're looking for affordable books or e-reads, definitely check out Thrift Books and Libby. And I'll link some more options in the description below if you're interested. On to the books that helped me get out of my reading slump and lead me down a line of like loving books, and also some of my favorite 5-star reads. We're gonna start out with the series that started it all for me in January 2021, the Percy Jackson series. Oh, is that upside down? I put them in the box upside down. Anyway, Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan is a middle grade series following Percy Jackson and his journeys at Camp Half-Blood, where he's a demigod, which means he's half god, half human, and Percy Jackson is specifically the son of Poseidon. I'm sure everyone is familiar with the series, but if you're not, that's what it's about. This was an extremely popular series when I was a kid, but I was just never into it. I never liked reading, honestly. So I never read them, but I was like, oh, this is a great starting point. I've been wanting to read something of this vibe recently, Jackson, so I bought the whole box set because then I was like committed to being able to read them back to back, which was really helpful, honestly. Luckily I liked them, because if I didn't like them, this would have been a big waste of money. But anyway, this was a great quick read, and honestly it made me super excited to go on my story graph and see that I've read 5 books. I was like, oh my god, I'm so proud of myself. And I'm really excited for the Percy Jackson TV show coming to Disney Plus. Pick up a middle grade series. It's fun, it's awesome, and a great starting point. Secondly, we have The Power by Naomi Alderman, which follows an alternative world where women and young girls have like electrical powers, and that's like all you need to know. Like, that sums up this entire book. It's super amazing, super fast to read. The story is so gripping and exciting that you're just like flying through it, and it's super accessible language. It's gonna be a Amazon show, I believe, with Nico Hiraka. Moment of silence for Nico Hiraka. But yeah, next we have Lagoon by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a Afrofuturism novel, sci-fi novel. I had to read this novel for school, actually, for an Afrofuturism class, but it was so good. Oh my gosh. Nnedi Okorafor writes so beautifully, and just like reels you in a way that I have never read another author do before. Like, she makes you want to stay up all night and like read the next chapter, and she also does that really well by having super short chapters, which is like my favorite thing in a book. I hate long chapters. I love a quick 2-page chapter. Like, this is an entire chapter. I love it. It's so good, and it makes you like want to continue reading. This is set in Lagos, and follows 3 random people that meet each other by chance after something happens on a beach in Lagos, and an alien rises from the water, and they're scared that she's gonna wreak havoc, and there's like already problems in Lagos politically, and it's just super amazing. It touches on issues of gender, domestic violence, religion, politics, all in this one beautiful novel. It deserves a better cover though. Like, this is so ugly, but there is complete and utter beauty within these ugly pages. Fifthly? Wait, I don't even know. Fifth? We'll just go with fifth. For the fifth recommendation, we have Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmer. And this is a nonfiction read, but it is one of the best nonfictions I've read. And she writes about her experiences with nature, linking them back to her indigenous culture and her life. She also speaks about marriage, her children, and there are some chapters that are completely scientific. There are some chapters that are completely about her indigenous life, but they're all blended in such a beautiful way, and written in almost like, she writes like music. I feel like it's music. Okay, first lines in the preface. I never read prefaces, but this was so beautiful. Hold out your hands and let me lay upon them a sheaf of freshly picked sweetgrass, loose and flowing, like newly washed hair, golden green and glossy above. The stems are banded with purple and white where they meet the ground. Hold up the bundle to your nose. Find the fragrance of honey-eyed vanilla over the scent of river and black earth, and you understand its scientific name, meaning the fragrant holy grass. In our language, it's called wingashak. I don't know, I'm so sorry. The sweet-smelling hair of Mother Earth. Breathe it in and you start to remember the things you didn't know you'd forgotten. It's so beautiful. And I loved learning about indigenous culture. She specifically Potawatomi. I'll put that there. And I've, my knowledge of indigenous peoples is very limited to a 4th grade education where I thought that all indigenous people were dead. I'm gonna be honest, that's what. And I also like to do some like rapid fire recommendations that are a little bit more adult. Like these books can be read by anyone. I read the trigger warnings for The Power, actually, and this has some explicit content, but other than that, those books are pretty tame. But if you are looking for something a little bit darker and intense, I'd recommend Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. This book broke me, but it was so amazing. Like, that is kind of the book that I like, a book about a woman with monumental problems that is completely broken and deals with her situations in probably the worst ways, but it is so great. I love Japanese literature. I'm trying to get into a little bit more, but Earthlings by Sayaka Murata is super great. I know also a lot of people recommend her first novel, Convenience Store Woman, but I have not read that, so I cannot give you an honest review, but there's so many on the internet that you can look it up, and I know it's a little more tame than Earthlings, so yeah. And a new author I love is Melissa Broder. I read both her book Milk Fed and The Pisces. Out of the two of them, I prefer Milk Fed just because I relate to that character, the main character, a little bit more. She reminds me of the main character in Earthlings. Very different, but also very similar in the way that they're dealing with things, and the way that I read them in my head is very similar. But she's really amazing, but a lot of her stuff is very adult, so I'd look at the trigger warnings. I think that's all I want to cover today. I want to thank you for clicking on this video and learning about my journey. It wasn't very detailed. I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you also learn to love and pick up a book.